All right, and now that we're into this game, Nerski.
Uh-oh.
I didn't like the sound of that. What's the uh-oh about?
I think we're still broadcasting. But go ahead and do introductions. I see an XSplit has encountered an error problem, and I'm just ignoring it for now.
Okay.
So I'm hoping we're still live.
I'm hoping we're still live too. All right, so if we're not live, then I apologize. If we are, then obviously, in the red playing Dat Protoss, it is ALBabyKnight. Can he make it happen in this game? And in the pink playing Zerg, we do have Excuse Me, which is actually TSLRevival. What a game we saw out of him last match. It was insane, Nerski. It was so good.
Yeah.
Revival this game, he's not 6-pooling, which kind of makes me excited because I want to see his macro play. I mean, obviously we did see some macro play in that last game, but I want to see his macro play. But look at what he's forced BabyKnight to do. Look how early this scout is, man.
Yeah,
he's like, hey, look.
This is just a 9 pylon scout timing, so it's not that early. So it's pretty standard. But yeah, he definitely has put some fear into BabyKnight, depending on what opening he will go with. I'm assuming, because I'm not hearing raging screaming in chat, that we are still broadcasting.
Well, there's a 2-minute stream delay.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
So, I'm watching the stream right now, and it's us sitting at the caster desk right after that game just ended. Like, literally just ended.
Man, I gotta tell you, I'm on pins and needles right now, just hoping that broadcast is still going. I'm encoding frames.
Are you?
I'm encoding frames.
Okay.
So there is that, and I have not clicked OK.
It's a good sign.
And so long as the game comes on, I refuse to click OK to whatever that error was.
Yeah, no, I agree. We do have the Forge going down for BabyKnight. He's going to throw down the Nexus next. That'll be obviously the next. That's obviously what he wants to make. There it is. So, Pool went down first for. Excuse me. Revival. That's about to finish up. He's going to start that Queen. Should start a couple links. There goes the links.
We see Revival actually going to just take his third as his first expansion, but ooh, BabyKnight's thinking back there at the probe.
Yeah, he will see it, but he, not only does he gets a little bit too close there, right? Because if you see that as a Protoss, you don't want to walk up to it and let the Zerg know it's there. Like, this is the time when you throw down that cannon, or throw down the pylon and you fake the cannon rush, or you just actually do it.
Okay, somebody's saying they see the stream just fine, so I'm just going to pretend that error does not exist over on the left-hand side of my screen, even though
that got real scary for us.
Even though it's bothering me, I gotta be honest. Just seeing it there, I'm like, oh, if I click OK, I bet XSplit will just die. So I'm just not gonna click OK, and hopefully everything will be all right. And I'll deal with it before we go to the next game. I click OK then, and then if the stream goes off, we'll be all right.
It's okay because we can bring it back live again.
Exactly. Yeah, he saw me boot the box away. That is called the oh no moment. Now, one thing I wanted to actually mention that I haven't seen a lot of Protoss do that actually happened to me on ladder, and I thought it was brilliant.
Okay.
And I'm sure you'll find this interesting. You know how some Protoss will maybe try and either pylon block, cannon rush that natural expansion. Every Zerg will go ahead and scout that out. I actually had a Protoss player go ahead and drop a pylon over here at the back of the third before I ever took it. Allowed me to take my natural and placed a cannon down at the third base. So by the time I went to take my third, I couldn't take it.
That's actually kind of it's kind of interesting.
And I've never seen anybody do that before.
I think obviously that works out if you're going 3-hatch before gas. If you're doing something a little bit tricky though, and you're maybe going for a 2-base play, or you're going 2-base muta or something like that, then it doesn't quite work as well. So it's kind of a gamble for the Protoss.
Yeah, you're forcing the Zerg to do a 2-base timing at that point. So you basically just have to make sure you're going to be good against any 2-base timings.
Yeah.
I personally went Roach Hydra. He tried to go Stargate, and I won that game. But so I just did a 2-base timing and crushed him for it because he made a bad choice of units after he forced me on a 2-base. But I mean, honestly, you can kind of rush the Colossus on 2-bases, Protoss. It's not normally optimal, but if you force the Zerg to 2-base, that can actually work out really well.
I don't disagree with that at all. That's actually a really interesting strategy. The gas going down at the normal time for a Revival, though. He's checking that drone count. For those of you who might not be top players, if you ever watch from a first-person point of view and you see a player boxing their drones, it's not because they're spamming APM. It's actually because they're checking the drone count. You don't want to be oversaturated. And so if we go to Revival's main right now and I box all of his drones, what I should see is I should see 2 rows that are complete and then 4 more. And he has 2 rows that are complete and then 6 more. So he actually has 2 drones too many at his main.
And actually, I think he just reduced that down. Well, he's got a couple of extra on the minerals, but of course you do get a little bit of extra mining if you don't have another base to send them to.
Yeah, if his natural is not saturated like it's not, then he absolutely should be sending those to the natural, not the main.
Yeah, now we do have what I thought was going to be a 4-gate pressure timing gearing up here by ALBabyKnight. Does just now have his warp gate. Does, of course, have the +1. Hasn't started +2 just yet, but has the Twilight Council down. And it looked like to me it's going to go for maybe one of those +1 Zealot pressure timings, and I think that's exactly what he's doing as he now moves across the map.
Now, I don't think this is going to do a whole lot, and you know, there's kind of, I mean, obviously there's a reason for that, but the big reason here is there's no proxy pylon on the other side of the map. Imagine if those 4 Zealots Nerski had been warped in at third. They could be here doing damage already. Instead, 2 of them are chasing a Ling to the third base of ALBabyKnight. You know, and 2 of them are sort of poaching out across the map. But there's no pylon or anything like that. And yeah,
this is kind of a weird timing for an early 4-gate push too, because it's not really very early. This is more like the time you normally get 6-7 gates happening, where the Zerg player's already up at about 70 harvesters. Normally, if you're going to do a Zealot push timing, you want to hit right around when the Zerg is going to only have about 50 harvesters and not be on roaches yet. So this is not ending up very well, and it looks like he just ends up faking the push and is just going to try and take his third, which that I actually don't mind.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, faking the push like that is kind of cool, right? Because it's going to force the Zerg player into making some units.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like taking the third behind this, because Zerg just made a whole bunch of units, and what are they going to do with those units? You really don't have very much, because you're only on 4 gates back at home. And you're teching and taking an expansion at the same time. This just sounds like you're asking for Zerg to make 50 roaches and kill you.
Yeah, I think if he wasn't going to actually go through with the push, he should have either thrown down more gateways and gotten out some more units.
Exactly, right? Or maybe start producing some...
you could definitely take the expansion, potentially, if you don't tech. But going straight up to tech and trying to expand and try and have enough units to hold off is...
It's scary, man, because I mean, in the game of StarCraft, it's a game of economy. I mean, for those of you tuning in, you know, you either can spend your money on expansions, you can spend your money on tech, or you can spend your money on units.
Well,
it spends all their money on units.
And it's important to note that Revival only has 4 gases, so he's intending to just max out on roaches right now and push ALBabyKnight.
And here it comes.
Ooh, force fields on that low ground. That was a bit of a mistake. Wasted force fields, if you ask me there, by ALBabyKnight. Does put him in the right place the second time around. Trying to buy time to get some cannons up in this wall over here at his third so that he can defend it. So he's definitely in a defensible position, but his army count is so low. I just don't know if he's going to be able to hold on. Here comes the roaches up to the third base. He's going to need to get over there and throw some additional force fields on, because he's about to lose all these gateways. Already has lost some of the cannons.
Yeah, but he does blink forward. Blink has finished, but I mean, this stream of units for TSLRevival is unending. The gateways fall. Here come the roaches streaming on in. Zealots being warped in. That is, of course, the right choice for the warp in. But I mean, this roach force is just so big. 160 supply to 89, 93 now for ALBabyKnight. That Immortal in the back doing so much damage. As soon as the roaches can get up to it, though, I believe it's going to fall.
There is a second Immortal now out, though, and actually, Revival's starting to run low on units, but he target fires down one of the Immortals. Here comes the second Immortal out, trying to dance around, tries to block with the Stalkers. We right now have the 1-0 Roaches against the 2-0 Stalkers, and they'll be able to clean up this initial push, but here comes the second wave from Revival. But, ALBabyKnight with a brilliant force field does manage to trap most of the units back behind that, so he might have a chance to hold this, but with that sentry going down, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hold this any longer. Some more Zealots coming in. He's doing his best to try and hold this, but it looks like Revival might just eventually overwhelm him.
Yeah, I mean, this unending flood from Revival. 24 more Roaches in production, +2 on the way as well. And I mean, granted, like, Revival is having to pull back. Like, he absolutely is. But this third base has not been up and operational. Like, it's just now being mined at. Probes being transferred. If we take a look at those workers killed, 11 workers killed for Revival as well. And I mean, what forces does ALBabyKnight have out? He's got some sentries, a Immortal, some hurt Zealots, and 2 Stalkers.
Yeah.
It's not much, man.
And I like what Revival's doing here. He's decided to back up. He realized streaming in all those units a handful at a time wasn't going to work out. He maybe missed his first inject or two while he was microing, but here comes the push, so who gives a care about that right now? Revival's going to try and end this game. Will ALBabyKnight be able to hold on? Decent force fields go down. Really traps off a lot of the roaches into a spot where they can't.
He has burrow and burrow move, though.
He does indeed have those. There is an observer with the army, though, so if he does try and burrow move under force fields, he could take a decent amount of damage, but he's got so many units, I'm just not sure if it's going to matter, but he's not actually utilizing burrow move. I'm not even 100% sure he's going to need to, though, because this army is just so small for ALBabyKnight.
Yep, it is, and I mean, these roaches finally now getting a lock on attacking something instead of just aimlessly wandering around. GG out of ALBabyKnight. Revival takes the game. Wow. I mean, that's,
Revival is a beast,
dude,
and that's about all I need to say about it.
Sick nasty. He's so scary. I cannot wait. If it's Revival versus Violet, I don't even care if it's ZVZ, man.